introduce our panelists. I'm Tracy K. Smith, I'm the chair of the Lewis Center. And I'm going to read some brief bios, and then we'll have a conversation. I want to say to our guests that my questions are really an invitation for you to go in whatever direction you want. I feel like we have a lot of different perspectives in the room, a lot of different feelings in the room, and I have many questions, but I know we can talk about everything, so I hope we can touch on as much as possible. But in the middle of the table is the artist responsible for this glorious exhibition. Mario Moore is a Detroit native. He received a BFA in illustration from the College for Creative Studies and an MFA in painting from the Yale School of Art. He has participated as an artist in residence at Knox College, Fountainhead, and Albers Foundation. His work has been featured in the New York Times and exhibited at the Charles H. Wright Museum, George Namdi Center for Contemporary Art, and the Detroit Institute of Arts. His solo exhibitions include Winston-Salem State University's Diggs Gallery and the Urban Institute for Contemporary Art, as well as Princeton University. His work is included in several volumes like Studio Visit Volume 31 and the Studio Museum in Harlem's catalog, Speaking of People, Ebony Jet, and Contemporary Art. And in addition to this solo exhibition entitled The Work of Several Lifetimes, which will run in this gallery space through November 17th. I hope you'll come back. It takes more than one viewing to really absorb the power of this work. I'm really excited to say that some of these paintings will become part of the permanent collection of the Princeton University Art Museum. Others will become permanent additions to the iconography in buildings and residential colleges across campus. So I think it's a real far end of the table, Professor Imani Perry is the Hughes Rogers Professor of African American Studies, and she's also a faculty associate in the program in Law and Public Affairs and Gender and Sexuality Studies at Princeton. She's written and taught on a number of topics regarding race and African American culture, using methods of discussion and analysis from various fields of study, including law, literary and cultural studies, music, and the social sciences. Perry's work often focuses on multifaceted issues such as the influence of race on law, literature, and music. She's the author of Looking for Lorraine, The Radiant Life of Lorraine Hansberry, Betsy Thing on Gender and Liberation, More Beautiful and More Terrible, The Embrace and Transcendence of Racial Inequality in the United States, Prophets of the Hood, Politics and Poetics in Hip Hop, and I said hip hop. Like I know. Hip hop. May We Forever Stand: A History of the Black National Anthem. So she has been busy in her time on the faculty. She earned a bachelor's degree from Yale and a JD from Harvard Law, as well as a PhD in the History of American Civilization from Harvard. And next to me is Hank Towns, the retired head equipment manager of Princeton University's Department of Athletics. He is a legendary figure in Princeton athletic history, working from 1970 through 2003 with thousands of Tiger athletes across 38 varsity teams. He arrived at Princeton at the same time as the first class of women admitted to the university, and he worked to promote growth in the women's athletic programs at Princeton. He worked most closely with the varsity football team over the course of 34 seasons. He's a native of Trenton, and he's an honorary member of the Princeton class of 1982. And you can see his portrait on the back wall. He's an honorary member of the class of 1980 and 1981. My first question is for you, Mario. I feel like the values characterizing your time as a Potter Fellow at Princeton have been transformative to the culture of this institution. I feel like the work here has invited a greater sense of community and visibility into the spaces that make up this institution, and feel like the gatherings that we've had in honor of your work and your ideas and your artist talks have also created a sense of welcome and engagement and light and joy and love that I think is really remarkable. Several of these portraits, as I said, are going to become permanent collections of the Art Museum and other spaces here. I would love to hear you talk about how you conceived of the work of Several Lifetimes and how you like to frame it to people when you tell them about this body of work.
Thank you. First, I just wanted to say thank you to the Lewis Art Center, to Tracy, to Martha, to everybody here for giving me the opportunity to present and do a body of work like this, and especially everyone in the painting. So if we could just clap for them. And essentially, I came about this work because I grew up in Detroit, and Detroit is a very hard working city. Blue collar jobs, labor intensive city. And even though I went to art and design school for studies, like a lot of the jobs that I had were, being a cashier, working in inventory control at DIA, so moving equipment, building pallets, also working, several kind of punching in jobs. And essentially in the beginning, I was thinking about the idea of the Great Migration, kind of the pilgrim journey of African Americans north, specifically to escape terror, but at the same time to kind of find an opportunity in jobs and give them equal pay. And I thought immediately about my dad as being, he's actually here, who one of his first jobs was working at the Detroit Consumer Arts as a security guard. And no matter what, even if he lost his job, he was able to get another job immediately, doing something. So it's always this thing of, like, no matter what, I'm going to be able to provide for my family, I'm going to be able to do these things. And that's how I came about the work. I think, particularly for Princeton, I started to think about my time at Yale and also my time in undergrad and the people that I would interact with the most. The people that meant so much to me is just kind of going around, and CCS Couch Creative Studies is a majority white institution, even though it's in Detroit, which is, I would say, 82% African American city. So it's one of the, if it's not number one of the largest, African American cities, but on campus, I was a very small minority. So the people that became a family, and another thing to understand is that my mom went to the same school as CCS. So I grew up as a kid going to that school, so I knew those people since I was like this tall, so they essentially became my family. The same thing at the DIA, security guards. And I often felt like going around the different museums as I traveled that the people that weren't heard or kind of ignored were the security guards, were the cafeteria, how people interacted with them was different than how I did and how I saw them. And I felt like that needed to be represented and shown in a way that painting, I think, could do a service, but also in a way that painting has not done before.
Yeah, I think about what it can mean for Black students to come to a place like Princeton, and there's a narrative of excellence and opportunity, and one version of that is you leave something, you leave a part of yourself behind. What I love about the work that you're doing is you're also acknowledging what to me, and I think many of us in the room will know, the Black nod. The way that you see another person that you know is coming from a similar place, and you acknowledge that. Your work is making that not silent and not private anyway. And it's also, I think, teaching the wider and the larger community that these are presences to acknowledge and to be grateful for and to listen to and to see.
And I also think, I'm going to ask Hank here, just when I first met Hank, I met Hank through an art collector, and I was introduced to him. And I was like, this guy's amazing. So I wanted to know, like, you know, how he started here, just hearing his story from when he started. And, you know, because I believe he started in 1970. And I just wanted to ask if you can tell us some of the barriers that you might have went through right when you started, and how you progressed through that, and, you know, was able to do the job that you're able to do.
First of all, before I start, I want to give honor to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who made all this possible. Amen. First of all, when I started in 1970, the way I got the job was through affirmative action. During that time, Princeton University did not have a lot of blacks in certain positions, and the athletic department was one of them. So when I came to apply for a job in 1970, this particular job happened to open up. But when I came here, it wasn't easy, okay, because all our people basically were doing food service, you know, the dormitory service and stuff like that. So for the government, the Princeton University, we met their quota, shall I say, you know, but it wasn't in the positions of importance at that time. So when I came in, the job was just a minimum job. Students at that time was right after the big 9/11, and they had just came out of uprising here on Princeton University campus. So there's a lot of turmoil was going on campus during that time. Well, a lot of the students here at that time took for granted, again, you know, it's spoon-fed. You come here, you work for them. You know, that's the way they looked at you. You were just another servant here for them. Well, it's time, I'm going to cut this short, but as time went on, Henry Towns was not going to accept that. Okay, regardless of, I was not going to be your mama, I wasn't going to be your daddy, and I wasn't going to pick up behind you. You was going to respect me as well as I respected you. And that was the understanding that we had when I first came in here. It wasn't about how many garages you had, how many homes you owned, how many cars you had. It was about how many lives that you had touched during your whole career. So my thing was, like when I came in, they didn't have a title for the position I had. They went into the, I guess, the list of jobs they had, which is close to resemblance the job that I was supposed to do. At that time, the trainers, the trainer today was also taking care of the equipment at that time. Basically, the job I had, they called it a storekeeper. And what you were supposed to do, basically, was just hand out the towels, the supporters, the socks. That's how the job started. And it just grew from there. And it came to now, equipment management is very important throughout the United States for all football. They even have it in all other sports right now, equipment management. But Princeton University is so far behind at that particular time, it was unbelievable. They had to call other universities to find out how much they was paying the people, what titles were they using, and so forth. So again, you know, Princeton had the least amount of black athletes in all the other schools in the Ivy League in 1970. And it went that way probably up until the early 80s. That particular time, they made a joint effort to go out to a hard to get minority athletes to come to Princeton. I used to get a call from the athletic director every day. It started like, I think in 1978. They called me every day to find out the black students that was on the football team that they ever quit. Because they wanted to make sure that they tried to make it easier for them to be on the program. So it was just like it was not easy for me, it wasn't easy for the black athlete here at Princeton too. I could tell you some stories of things that was behind the scenes. I'm not going to get into that. You know, there's really some things that behind the scenes. The reason why a lot of black athletes that came in and they ended up quitting. By me being there, as time went on, they looked at me as a father figure. They came in, I told them, I told him, be like your daddy, away from home. Anything you need, you come to me. If I can help you, I can, I want to. If I can't, I'm gonna send you to somebody that can help you. But the main thing I want you to do is come through the school and graduate, so you can pave the way for someone else. And that's basically how I got started here in Princeton. And again, that was in 1970. And the athletic department had, in 1970, show you how we haven't came that far. We had a head track coach named Larry Ellis. We had one varsity football coach. And that was it, as far as the minority coaches go. Look right now, we still do not have a head black coach in Princeton, unless they hire one in the last couple of years, which could be the track coach, I don't know. But otherwise, we might think we came far. We haven't came that far here in Princeton.
I got one more question.
Okay?
So, there's another thing that we talked about, and I think it was the transition of how basically the coaches, what you told me, that the coaches were handling the equipment. And what you had, can you talk about what you had to do to actually do the position that you were hired to do?
Well, like I said, at that particular time, the trainers was handling they was taking care of injuries as well as all the equipment. So I came in, and after I told them, I went through, I said, you know, I have the knowledge, I went and learned how to fit up helmets, fit up all types of equipment. The main thing was the helmets. They used to just put helmets on kids' heads. This is why you have a lot of problems that you're having now in the NFL. The proper way of fitting a person's helmet is a unique way. You have to learn how to do that. Otherwise, it can very easily get hurt. So the trainers did not want to let that position go. They wanted to hold on to it. Well, when I went to the AD and they found out exactly what was going on, I explained to them, then they decided to turn it over to, as they call it, the storekeepers, which end up becoming the equipment managers. And that's how we basically got started from there. But at the time, the equipment manager was not doing his job. And I told him that if you would be an equipment manager, and that's what they call all the other Ivy League schools to find out what the equipment manager is supposed to do, how much they pay them, and so forth. And that's where it started.
I remember hearing a kind of a reflection from a Black alum who had been an athlete, and he said that he had done some really great things on the field, but nevertheless felt invisible much of the time on this campus, or like a kind of a strange guest. I know that you need to be known as a professor among the athletes that you work with. Where that name kind of stuff?
Well, again, you know, the person didn't have a whole lot to offer, the black athlete, and they needed someone to kind of look up to. So, you had professors on this side of the campus, but once you crossed over what we call Washington Road to the athletic department, there wasn't a lot of us look the same color. So they had someone they had to lean to, and by me dealing with most athletes on a daily basis, they looked at me as a father figure, the number one, confident. Stories I can tell you is, for example, we had one young man that, and by the fact he's white, he's from Alabama, came in, going to quit the football program. So he came in and talked to me, coach came in, wanted to know what was he doing there talking to me about. It was quite natural to me. I put him out in my equipment room, and I told him, this is my office. You're on the field, I'll take care of this in here. And I put him out. He didn't like it, but he left. So anyway, the young man talked to me about quitting, and I told him I was going to make a deal. Each day, you come in, I said, if everything go well, you give me a thumbs up. If it comes down, you come in the office, we're going to talk again. But we got through that. So he ended up being the starting center on the team. So football games, his parents were not rich enough, they wasn't rich in order to come up here to all the games. So what we used to do was the games came on PRB. I used to take my telephone, it was right by the radio, and I would dial his parents. They answer the phone, I leave the phone by the radio so they could listen to the game. That young man ended up being the captain of the team his senior year. So we still talk about that, and he thanks me to the day, because he said he would have quit if it wasn't for me. So those kind of stories and stuff that we have that I feel more proud of.
I feel like there are a lot of stories like that.
Yes.
If you ask, you can get to that story for so many people. Imani, you came to Princeton, I think the same year I did, was it 2005?
No,
Nine, okay. And before that, you had been at similar types of institutions, Harvard and Yale. And now, of course, you're in the position of being one of those lifelines for students as a faculty member. I'd love to know your sense of what institutions like this, how they stand as what I'm going to call incubators for Black life and thought.
well, yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna get to answering your question a little bit of a roundabout way. So the first time I went to Mario's studio, I was very moved, particularly about this work happening here. And I thought about, there's two things I thought about. One, I thought about the scene in Do the Right Thing, right, where he says, how can they know brothers on the way? And what it means to enter these institutions, and there being no institutional memory of our presence in these institutions, even though we have always been here in some capacity, right? I mean, since the very beginning, there are slave quarters in some of the dorm rooms right here. And so I thought about that, the question of institutionality, but I also thought about, and this sort of resonates with what you're talking about in terms of nurturing the student athletes, is my own experience as a student at Yale when, at the beginning of each semester, we would, before affirmative action at places like these was as comprehensive as it is, right? Every year, many of the Black students would be on what's called their supplement, which is like your parents didn't pay and you couldn't do anything. You couldn't eat, you couldn't register for classes or anything. And it was always Black folks who were working in dining halls, or who would actually facilitate you getting in, or who got keys, or who made it possible to be in a place that actually felt, at times, you're supposed to be a student, but felt hostile to your presence because of, even on whatever it was, like being on 85% aid, your folks can get together in the money day, right? And so, for me, the sense of lifeline, and then afterwards working at that institution before here, being only one of two Black faculty members at the institution, but the other faculty were quite hostile, and most of the people who I talked to on a regular basis were the support staff and the custodial staff. And those are also the people who informed me when people were talking about me, right? And not supporting me. And so it's moving because, so I think about sort of what your question about sort of the incubators for Black life is, in part, is to be, I think there's something about being very deliberate about the things that we do culturally, as a matter of fact, in terms of the non or the region, the sense of some sense of linked faith support and trying to actually not just nurture that, but institutionalize it, make it present. So my sense of my relationship to my students is more than simply an academic relationship, because that's how I was socialized to be, that you offer a sense of care to the young people who are around you, that you offer a sense of support, that you recognize what they're experiencing, and if that's a way that you interact with them, that you talk to people. And that's not necessarily a cultural normative institution to look people in the eyes, right? And so I think about that, so both in terms of like, you know, making the case it's important for us to acknowledge our history in these places, our presence, the ways they're multifaceted, to be very explicit about it, to value it, and also to bring in things about how we are with each other into these spaces. You know, both for us, but also because I think oftentimes they're more humane ways of engaging with people. But that's, you know, there's a pushing against the tide that's part of that, and that's why I think, you know, it's also really important to acknowledge when there is work that's pushing against the tide, like your work, you know, to say this is important, and I'm really glad that the university has met the challenge in this moment.
Yeah, I like that you say linked fate, and we're talking in really deliberate and intentional ways about race, but I think that the ways of reaching out in an institution like this can go in every single direction and must. I mean, especially when I think about the hierarchies that are built into life here, and the hierarchies that urge or somehow convince us that we have to exert a kind of cold and clinical force upon the people, you know, below us in some way. Mario, I want to come back. I want to hear you talk about your work and your vocabulary, but I'm gonna frame it like this, okay? I don't want you to do it the way I would talk about my own work. I loved watching the documentary Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am. I loved everything about it and everything about her, and I particularly appreciated how comfortable she was in acknowledging and claiming her own formidable genius and talent. There's a scene in the documentary where she's awarded the Nobel Prize that morning, and she's walking down, I think, Washington Street, and there were reporters all around her, and one of the reporters says, "Sir, why do you think you were awarded this prize?" And I know there's a version that someone, I don't really know why you, but she said, "It's because I'm a great writer." And so I'm asking you to channel your inner I want you to talk about what's your sense of the accomplishment of this body of work, and also what artistic and other traditions do you feel like it comes from and aligns you with?
So it's essentially, I think, this work in particular, but all my work, is about kind of inviting people into a space that they may be unfamiliar with, or people, or seeing them in ways that they have not seen them. I think that in general is what I'm trying to do in my work. So the paintings usually have a presence where the figure feel like it's about to come out into your space, or as a viewer you feel like you're walking into that space. Right? So that to me is extremely important as far as how I make my work and artists that I'm looking at. I think about Fred Wilson's sculpture piece, which were like these mannequins all dressed in security uniforms. Basically taking these uniforms from around different institutions, but they were all essentially men of color, figures, not even men, figures of color. They had their heads cut off and just uniforms, but you knew that what he was talking about was the voicelessness of these men, of these security guards and how we see them. And what I wanted to do in this space was create a voice and create a language where you can hear them in the way that you haven't heard them before. And that's also why I think the performance piece that I did during the opening was really important, right? Because it was about giving this voice. Another thing that I think is interesting, which I thought I was thinking about talking about it, and I was like, no, but I'm going to talk about it. There was something on, it was a comment on the Princeton article or something. And in essence, what I'm trying to do is open up this world for everyone to look at, right? Give a space for difference. But the comment was saying how these pieces are racist. So we want her just this kind of thing where you paint one race of people, you paint this way, you want to shine a light on something in particular, and somebody else feels left out because they're not the center of attention. Right, so I was thinking about this, and and thinking about it, I was thinking about growing up, and I went to, in Detroit, I went to like African focused school. So in general, like all black teachers, all black students in the 90s. And actually looking back, I was looking for some history, looking about some moments that I remember, because I went to Malcolm X Academy. And we used to have school threats and bombing threats at the school. So this is 1992. We're not talking about burning anything out of the 60s. You know, we're not talking about Little Rock. We're not talking about that time. This is 1992. So I looked up this article in the New York Times. And I was like, oh snap, I didn't know the New York Times wrote about this. So I find the article. And I'm going through it. And I didn't realize how bad it was until I actually read the article. So on the bus rides into the school, because the community, the school got the building was in, at the time in the 90s, the majority white neighborhood. I think it was in Warren or something. That, what neighborhood is that?
It's in Warren,
Yeah, like, yeah.
Self-release.
Yeah, the board of another city. But it was still a majority white neighborhood. So in the article, they talk about how they don't want these kids to learn these different things, how they don't need to be taught this hate, how this, you know, and on the bus rides, they were actually throwing eggs and stuff. The police had to escort us into the school. This is 1992. So when I think about comments like that, I'm like, no, that's what racism is like. It's very different. It's a very different thing, you know. But essentially, in looking at that and thinking about this work, and considering what hangs around most of Ivy League universities, or just Big Ten schools and universities that we're in, is you see a majority of white men that are doing the halls. And it's like, well, how come the people that have probably been working here for a long time are never recognized? What about those people? And that's what I really wanted to focus on.
Can I ask a question that's related to it? Because I love the way you talked about painting black people inside. Like, I heard about it, and I was excited about it. But also, I noticed also the depth and beauty of the skin, but also the way you use blue. And that also has a kind of depth and layering. And so I'm just wondering if that has any relationship to the story you're telling.
Oh, big time. I think, in particular, when I think about just painting history and how skin has been painted and how Western painting has been taught and what we learn in our schools and different types of things like that, is that you're taught how to paint a very particular picture. Right? Even if we go and look at like some of the greatest painters in history, like Peter Paul Rubens or Rembrandt, all these painters that we know. And they painted black figures. And you look at the paintings of black figures, and they're not that good. It's the color. They really don't understand how to paint the color of black skin, right? And it's due to, you know, when I would go to museums and I would go to see these brand new paintings, I wasn't necessarily looking at, in my mind, as a young kid, I wasn't looking at whiteness, I was looking at a story. Right? I was looking at like a Bible story or a mythical story. And I was absorbed in that. It wasn't until later when I thought about, oh man, there's no black people in this thing. It's like, there's nobody else in these paintings. And at the same time, that's where they were, and that's what they wanted to paint, and that's the people that they put in those spaces. So what I want to do in my work is to represent people the way that I see them, but really focus on color. Because I feel like color is so ignored. Usually in these paintings, everybody looks like a shadow with white teeth and white eyes, you know, like there's no understanding of the complexities of color and how to paint black skin. And that's just something that I really, really want to focus on. And I think blue just looks nice.
Mario, I would like to say something too. You were saying that they looked at the painting and said racist.
It was a comment on the internet, and it basically said this work is racist because it does not include white people.
Okay, well, I'm going to add to that one because the jobs that was here on campus, if you want to go back, it was only the blacks that worked in those positions. As time came forward, that's when they started adding different nationalities to these jobs, and times got hard. It was hard to find jobs. They would accept whatever they could get. But before that, as I was saying, back in the 70s and the 80s, and maybe even up to the 90s, what you see here is what you're seeing then. You didn't see no other color in these positions. So they maybe need to look at themselves when they say that.
Oh, for
So take it back a little bit, okay?
In a lot of ways, we do. There's so many people who are featured in these portraits here. Mario and Hank, will you talk about the dynamic of getting to the portrait like that? How did you feel when you were approached? And how do you create the energy that makes it possible to really see someone?
Okay, I'll start, but I guess you say I got approached. I got an email one day from a gentleman by the name of Jim Petrucci, who was the captain of the football team in 1986. And he said he had met this young man at a studio in Princeton that he wanted me to be put in touch with. And he said, would you mind meeting with him? He never told me what it was all about or anything. I just said, sure, I'll be glad to meet with him. So we talked on the phone a couple of times. And then finally we met, matter of fact, in this room here one day. And while I was sitting there talking to him, I think he did that little sketch over there. So then after that, we decided to do the portrait, but it didn't really, wasn't supposed to be in the stadium. It's a plaque in the locker room down in the stadium. So it's a plaque on the wall. So the idea was to have you stand in front of the plaque, and he was going to do that painting. Well, when we got to the stadium that day, Princeton just did a new locker room, and all the pictures and everything had been taken down, and they hadn't had a chance to put them back up yet. So we decided to go out into the stadium, and I turned the rest of the over.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is really my first time doing a project like this. Like, usually, because in my work, I really want you to feel the individual. I want you to feel like their humanity. I want you to kind of feel them. So, for the most part, these are people that I know. It's myself, or it's my friends, or it's people that I have relationships with. So I knew in order to do something like that here, first of all, for the Howdy Fellowship, I got to move here. That was, probably the most important part, because I was living in Brooklyn, and I didn't want to do the back and forth, because I feel like it was too much time away to get to know somebody. And essentially what I just planned on doing was like, okay, I'm just going to walk up to people and start talking to them. See how it goes. But the plan was essentially that I would meet someone. Clyde was the first person I met that works in this building. He's actually sitting back there. Glass on. I know he's a little shy. But he was the first person I met. And I was like, okay, there needs to be, there's got to be some way that I can, be engaged with them and get them interested. Like, this is very foreign to me, to approach somebody that asks them to sit for a piece in the way that I want to do it. So with Clyde, I think I might have planned this a couple of times. But I asked him, is there a place to get my haircut? Because in Princeton, there's nowhere for me to get my haircut. So, he's talking about a place in Trenton. And then essentially I told him about the project and my plan. And I said, essentially throughout the whole process, and things changed like Hank told you, but it was very organic. I didn't want to, because I'm only one individual. Right? There was times where like some students might have recommended somebody else like Jim Petrucci might have recommended somebody. But for the most part, it was me going out to meet people. Because I felt like that was a very honest way, very organic way to decide who's going to be in these pieces. I'm only one person, so I can't paint everyone. So when I met Clyde, I was like, oh, he'll be great, he'll be great. So I just asked him if he had some time, like 20 or 30 minutes during the lunch break, or if they are working, I would just sit with him and do a drawing in my sketchbook. And we'll essentially talk. We'll just have a conversation. I'll talk to you about my life, and you tell me about your life, and we'll see what happens. So after that, after we're having that conversation, and we're kind of building this relationship, then we're coming up with ideas of how they want to be represented or how they should be represented. And then I try to find another time and say, you have a day off, or you got another 30-minute break or lunch, when you can meet up again and I can take some photographs of you in your workplace. And that's essentially how it progressed. And again, I didn't have, until I actually got to the place and figured out what was going to happen, and as we talked about it, I didn't have an initial composition idea. It was basically just an interaction. And then from there, from the photographs that I took, I would source some other material and I do some sketches to come up with the final piece. But it all moved really organically. Like Hank said, we were planning on being in the locker room, and it just so happened I saw this chair out on the field, and I was like, okay, we'll use that, we'll put that over there. Okay, this is perfect. Yeah, we'll go. So it was kind of like the organic planning on the run type of process.
I like that it's something that sounds like it can't be fabricated. You really do have to come to a space and get to know one another. And you also really do have to do what we should do in life, which is to say, who are you? How do you see yourself? How should I see you? Go based on that perspective. I want to hear you talk a little bit about the layers in paintings. There's text in the gallery image with Michael. There are paintings that don't exist in Princeton's collection, but you brought them together deliberately.
Yeah, so I think throughout most of the work, especially work before this show, my work's always had a kind of a narrative base, but it's also been a lot of symbolism as to what's represented within the works, like different objects, different things that mean other things. So I wanted, in some kind of way, if I could, bring that into this space and bring it into the work. So for the painting of Michael Moore was this essentially basically the art museum, and this is the elevator. So if you're a student or a guest invited, they take you go through the side entrance, and you can go over into the printmaking gallery or whatever gallery, and they invite you in. So I knew I was also thinking about I think it's what is it, Wilson Peele? Who's the painter? You know about the painter. Yeah, that had a piece at the Princeton Art Museum at the time. So I was looking at that composition and I was like, oh, we can do something with this. So I decided to basically allow Michael to kind of guide you into this space. So that art gallery there actually exists, but all the work that's in there is actually European art. But what I wanted to do was really focus on Black artists. So that centerpiece is a piece by Henry Oscar Tanner, a 19th century painter, who went to PAFA, and that's a painting he did of his father. So he's really, really famous. He's probably one of the first famous African-American painters in the U.S. during the 19th century. So that's a piece he did of his father, who's a pastor. And then the piece to the left of that, further back, is a painting that I did myself in 2012. So I decided to do my own painting. And then the piece to the left of that is a piece that Princeton actually owns. So it's one of the only ones that Princeton owns in this kind of mystical collection that I put together. Is by Charles White of Frederick Douglass. And then the piece to the foreground on the left is actually a larger painting by Barclay Hendricks, who passed away a few years ago. So it's actually a three-figure painting. So there's a central figure of the same woman facing out, and then the same female, same woman is on the left facing in the left direction. And then the sculpture that's kind of hidden behind Michael is Ife sculpture. So in Nigeria, there's these Ife sculpture, these bronze cascade or iron cascades. They're really beautiful. They have these lines that kind of come across the face. They're very naturalistic. And when they were discovered, I believe they were discovered in the 19th century. The German that discovered them, he couldn't believe something so beautiful could exist in Nigeria. So he made up this entire mythology about these works of art that literally he believed that the Greeks must have came there, landed there, colonized there, and left artwork, and then went back to Greece and made this amazing art, right? So I just think that's so crazy. So at the same time, In Europe and in Nigeria, that part of Nigeria, there's a belief that that's where humanity comes from, and that's also where the center of creation of art and excellence comes from. So they have this Yoruba idea, this idea around that area. So the title of the piece is called The Center of Creation. So it's basically about like technical black excellence in art that doesn't have to deal with Western art, in a way. So it's kind of framing that piece in a way where the security guards allow you into a space to see work that's not at the museum, but that he wants you to see. This piece over here, this piece is of Howard, Kanisha, and Valeria. And when I met Howard, he was sitting over here in the second row. Huge personality. Everybody knows him. Like literally everyone. As I was making the painting, students were coming by and they would come back like, oh, hey, that's Howard. You know, it was like that. But I wanted to do this painting, and I asked him, we were talking about, I was like, we should do a group portrait. So he introduced me to Valerie and Kanisha to do the piece. And what I was thinking about in all the work is that I didn't want to have any of the people in the work serving anyone else. So that's why there's nobody else in the background, there's nobody else walking around, there's no students. Because essentially I wanted them to be serving themselves. Right? That they're providing for their families, they're kind of representing themselves in the way that they will be seen. And I really wanted that for this painting. So when Valerie and Howard came to see the painting was first finished in my studio, Valeria was like, you have over 80-something years in that painting. And I did think about time in that way, like in the amount of years that they worked here and what time means. But at the same time, that kind of text is at the top. It's kind of a look to Italian and Spanish painting in the 16th century, 17th century, how they would do gold leaf text that would just sit right at the top of the canvas at the bottom. And that quote is actually by Toni Morrison when she was here during the Princeton Slavery Symposium in 2017. And what she was, I think she had like 30 minutes or 40 minutes to speak, because she's talking to me. And she was saying in the full quote, or partial of the full quote, is that in this time, there's no way that I can tell you about the history of Princeton slavery. So I'm giving you a taste, but the full meal is the work of several lifetimes. So I thought it was really fitting for all the work and the generations of people that worked here, and the slaves that were in the slave quarters. And also at the same time that they're talking about a full meal, there's nothing for you to eat in that can or that pot there. So it's still like they're essentially serving themselves in a way. So yeah, those are just some of
the questions and realizations here helping us to approach. Imani, as we said, a big part of this exhibition has to do with rendering visible living experiences that have been ignored or considered to be invisible. And I feel like in your book, Read the Letter to My Sons, you're doing something similar for readers. You're also doing a similar curatorial act to what Mario was describing, and sort of gathering together texts, markers, even private experience and private narrative to create a sense of the fullness that we can draw from and that we can also associate with Black life.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit?
Sure. And it's so interesting because when you're talking about the narrativity in your work, right? So there's, artists of different sorts. We work in form, but we're always sort of in conversation with others, right? So the desire to sort of create the visual image, the desire to try to draw our attention elsewhere, right? To attend to this as opposed to that. So one of the things that is really important for me in writing to my sons is about understanding the kind of the everyday extraordinariness of our history and our traditions and our beauty. And so I think there's something that is incredibly sympathetic or kindred or coming from the same font, right? And I think, and we talked about, and I think that there's something also very particular about this moment in Black art that is geared towards that, right? it's important, of course, to talk about the devastation and the violence, but also the incredible beauty of our lives, right? And justice and all those sorts of things. And so I do think that being attentive to that beauty in the context of a difficult history and a difficult present, and a present that has taken us back to difficult moments in history is, you know, as part of the impulse we were just talking about. I did some work with a visual artist to write about. I mean, it's more than one in the book, but that, you know, for me, I'm constantly finding myself turning to personal stories, encounters. My grandmother's all the way through the work of artists is all the way, you know, sort of like, you know, if you use the word Emersonian in the sense of like I'm constantly drawing from whatever source. And that really is, you know, I think it's sort of a collage or a quilt, like the work of quilting our stories. And in particular, and to go back to your earlier question, I think it's particularly important in these spaces, both because we're here, but also these spaces have a particular, they're taken seriously in certain ways, right? So the question is, well, what do we do when we get our foot in the door with having our foot in the door? Do we just get our foot in the door and sort of try to sort of meld into, I mean, the environments, or do we get our foot in the door and try to actually say, okay, now I'm going to tell a different kind of story, right? And I think that's, and, you know, it's hard to talk about how we feel about war spaces. It's part of what she did for American Village, right? So that we can see our lives and their stories in it, you know, so I guess that's, yeah, that's the way it's kind of, what I'm trying to do is in the same vein.
I want to share, but I have a couple more questions. So you made reference, Mario, to the performance piece that was part of the opening of this exhibition. And can you describe that for folks who weren't here?
Yeah, so I had this idea in my head for a long time. I think a lot of artists have so many things and ideas that they want to do and they want to make, but they don't get the opportunity or they're just waiting for that moment. So as part of the opening, I knew I wanted to have, because I was thinking again about Fred Wilson's piece, and I was thinking about my time in the museum with my dad and security guards and all the museums that I go into, and how people do not interact, they just bypass security guards and people that work these different positions. And so what I wanted to do, and what I did was actually, during the exhibition opening, I had 3 men who were dressed up in security uniforms. Right? The only people that knew they were not security were people that actually worked security in our museum. So the majority of people that worked security worked the safety patrol department. So I knew I wasn't going to get over on them, but I knew that they wouldn't tell anybody else. So I specifically got in contact, actually through somebody who works here. I talked to Nick, who works in the tech department. And Nick, at the Visual Arts Building, Nick introduced me. I said, hey, Nick, I got this project on this plan. I was like, do you know any choir directors or anybody in Trenton that you can introduce me to? And he was like, yeah, my grandma knows this person. No, put you in touch with my grandma. She gonna call this person. So then I got in touch with the choir director. Her name is Betty. Betty put me in touch with 2 singers. And I had a really great friend that lives out in LA. He went to undergrad together, an amazing singer. And I knew I wanted to bring him in because when I talked to him about the project, I was talking to him about Paul Robeson. And Paul Robeson's from Princeton. And one thing that he wanted to go to Princeton University, but he wasn't allowed in because he's a black man, so he wasn't allowed. So that was a dream of his. So in the performance piece, I kind of wanted to give Paul Robeson a voice and give the security guards literal vocals of being kind of represented and singing and heard in this space. So what I did was I had all of them, we did rehearsals and everything, but during the performance they were in different places around the gallery. And I think in the middle of the exhibition, probably an hour in, one person started to sing. Just started, another person started to sing. And then another person started to sing in another part of the gallery. We all came to the center. And we sung a song that was written specifically for Paul Robeson. But it was a very contentious song. Because the original lyrics are extremely racist, but they were written for Paul Robeson. He sung the song, had the N-word in the lyrics at one point. And then later on in his life, he changed the lyrics because he wanted it to say a different thing. He wanted it to represent something different. So we saw his later version as the first song that we sung. And then it transitioned, playing with my friend Alonzo, who was the kind of the lead singer in the second song. It was his own song that he wrote. So I kind of wanted to bridge that song that was about labor.
That first song was Old Man River.
Yeah, the first song was Old Man River, sorry. First song was Old Man River. And that song is essentially about labor, but it's also about, this master, this person that's in charge, he doesn't have to do anything. I want that life, right? And we transitioned from that song to a song written by my friend called War, where he's basically battling with the history of slavery and battling with those contentions. And I really wanted to feel very organic, because at once you're in this space and you're here for an opening, and all of a sudden somebody starts to sing, and they're directly in front of you, so you're not gonna have any idea what's going on. But I feel like it was exactly what I wanted.
I have had that song, This Is War, but the line, This Is War, in my head since then, because it seemed like such a powerful statement. It's a literal declaration, this is war, and yet it also brought this overwhelming sense of love and healing into the room. And I love that feeling of complication, because I think that's what we are in, or what we are invited to kind of wait in this moment. What are some of the lyrics to that song? Will you share?
Man, do I remember the lyrics? I'm just singing it right now. But I have something to say about that performance, and I think it was really interesting because right after we got finished singing, somebody came to me they said, "Oh, I just thought those were men standing on the wall," and I was like, "Well, that's what it's all about. It's like all you think." That was it. They were just men standing on the walls. And my friend Alonzo, because he has like a tattoo that goes up the top of his head, but he had on the raps, you couldn't really see that he has a gold ring that kind of comes down, so he kind of transformed for the performance, but he was dressed up in more like a kind of street guard suit. But he said it was interesting being on the other side and seeing it from the other side. He's also a visual artist, but also a singer. And he was like, literally, people just walking right past him, said nothing to me. Somebody came up to me and actually, this is him talking, came up to me and actually handed me a piece of trash and said, "Could I throw it away from you?" So I was like, wow, this is
I wish I could have seen that person.
yeah, this is really interesting, to kind of see that from his perspective.
Yeah, there's a moment in the song where you're going to know my name.
Yeah, yes.
Encouraging.
It's some of the lyrics were, "You underestimate me, this is war, you're gonna know my name."
Okay, this is my last question, and then I would love to open it up to questions. Imani, there's a moment, and this is to all three of you. There's a moment in Read when you quote Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who writes, "Our inner lives are eternal, which is to say that our spirits remain as youthful and vigorous as when we were in full bloom. Think of love as a state of grace, not the means to anything, but the alpha and the omega, an end in itself." So I kind of want to end this part of the conversation with each of you talking a little bit about things like community, family, love, that nurture you, and that maybe is mothers and sons, or spouses, or co-workers, or mentoring relationships, or whatever it is, but what have love and community looked like in your lives? If that's not too personal a question to ask.
Want me to start? Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, as for me, it's my children more than anything. Every day there's a way in which, that's my job calling. There's a way in which sort of that most intimate of caretaking relationships becomes a reminder of the fullness of who you are. And I think often, you know, so much of the sort of performance in the context of work, and especially in universities, is like you shut off lots of parts of the fullness of who you are, right? To be professional, right? But it's actually those moments, and I just won't have the moments here, right? But where you're actually, the completion of who you are, that's far beyond what the job you do are. It's inclusive of that, but it's your intellect, it's your spirit, it's your emotions, it's your vulnerability. When it's all together in a human-to-human contact, like that's, to me, the point of the whole thing, right? And so now I was like trying to, yes, I'm gonna like come off as this, but kind of get back to that.
Okay, first of all, I'll tell you about my family. I have 4 generations in the audience today, which is a blessing. Somebody asked me how I'm standing up. I have my son, Anthony, standing right in the front row here. I have my granddaughter standing in the back there. And she has her twin children, which is also right there, along with her husband. And you are now looking at 4 generations. I tried to pass down to them the things that my mother, who I love dearly, who went on to the Lord in 2013, had taught me. And as I said earlier, one of the things she always told me was, it's not how many houses and cars and stuff that you get during your lifetime, it's how many lives that you touch. I never used to understand that. But then when she says, you know, when you're dead and gone, those cars and houses and stuff is gone also. But the lives that you touch, they're still here, remembering you, and they always will be talking about you. So that's more important to leaving a good impression on them than it is on how much stuff you accumulate. But again, as I said, coming to Princeton was a humbling experience, good experience, and Princeton University as a whole has been very good to me. They treated me well. I guess I earned my stripes, going from handing out T-shirts and socks and so forth, from a storekeeper to equipment manager to equipment supervisor, from just being behind the counter to when I finally left here, I was doing all the ordering and buying of all athletic equipment for the 35 teams that we took care of at Princeton University. And so that's how I left. And the ones I touched, people tell me to the day that they miss me when they come here because they never came back to Princeton. But when they did come back, they looked for Hank. I was there, I guess, the bridge between them and the university. They had a retirement party for me, a dinner, when I retired in 2004. Over 500 athletes came back, which I was very thrilled with. One of them that came back and said he had never came back before was a guy by the name of Bill Powers. I don't know if y'all know that name or not, but if you turn around and look at that field back there, it says Powers Field. Bill came back from our retirement. He was not involved in Princeton University athletics at that time. But after that dinner, he said he was going to get involved. And he donated enough money to have that field named after him. So they gave me the credit. But they didn't Bill Powers back involved with the Princeton football. So that's just a couple tidbits I
I mean, family relationships are extremely important. I feel like wherever I go, I take a piece of Detroit with me. My grandmother is is like, she's a ginormous figure as far as like an activist or a person in Detroit. Like, in Detroit, now it's changed a lot, but in Detroit I was Helen Ward's grandson, or I was Sabrina Nelson's son. So that I always take with me. She's an education activist. She's been doing it since I would say late 60s, early 70s. The newspaper articles. So I used to go to marches with her, and when they would do the annual march in Selma, and we would always be. And, she's been arrested a couple of times. It's always on the news, protesting. So, like, I carry that with me, and I have a niece and nephew now, and I try to get home to them as much as possible. I think one of the biggest things that kind of changed the way I look at things was how I look at life in relationships, period, is when I had brain surgery 2 years ago. And for a period of time, like I couldn't really do anything. And thankfully, my girlfriend Danielle took care of me for a portion of that time. And it just allowed me to look and really understand community and relationships and people in a different way. Especially when your life is challenged. It's risk that there may not be any more after this. Like, so for me, when I go into spaces, and especially put together a show, I really want people to feel like they're involved. I really want to build a community in that sense, because I don't like the idea of coming to a space and gentrifying that space, right? Coming to a space and popping down my idea and saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I want to be more an involved process.
All right. We have time for questions. I want to say what I will forget otherwise to say, which is that there are catalogs of this work that you can sign up for. They'll be here soon, and the sign-up sheet is somewhere in this room. Okay, so be sure to do that if you want that. But are there questions? I think we felt nice that I can check that. And I know we have, can you raise your hand if you are teacher?
No questions? Nobody has any questions?
When he came to me, I told him I was gonna make him a star.
He actually said that's exactly what he said.
He was already a star. He didn't tell me that. It worked out beautiful. It worked out beautiful. I told him I'm well known among the school. I told him all the things I did, everything. All right. It came out beautiful. Yeah. Good job.
As a child, as a younger child, were you had interest in art and painting Can you repeat that?
She said, as a young child, did I learn how to paint and draw and sketch? So my mother's an artist. So actually, when I was born, she was still she's a superwoman. When I was born, she was still an undergrad school at College of Creative Studies. So even though my dad sitting right here, he tells me, he used to do these stick figure drawings and these little pumpkin head drawings. And he said he got to a point where my pumpkin heads got better than his pumpkin head. But when I was younger, after my mom graduated, and I have an older sister, she would take both of us around campus. We would sit in on a lot of the classes, couldn't find babysitter, things like that. And she would, after she graduated, she would teach in community colleges. So a lot of the professors there, I knew them as a kid. And it got to a point, probably when I was like 8 years old, that they would invite me into the classroom you know, with college students, and he would do it to like poke at the college students. So, and they would be doing figure drawing. So I'd be sitting there, 8-year-old kid, and he'd be like, "You see this? Y'all let him come in here and, you know, and do stuff like that." But I was, one story my mom kind of likes to tell is that I probably was like 5 years old. And we were going into teaching probably actually, no, not 5, probably like 6 years old. And she was teaching a figure drawing class, and it was a new figure. And, you know, I'm 6 years old, and for my mom, it's like, it's just a body. And for me, I didn't understand anything like that, so it was just a body. So I'm getting ready to do my drawing, right? Got my sketch pad up, and it's all organized. And the model is like not taking off a roll. And I'm sitting here huffing and puffing. Like, oh. And my mom goes to the model, and she's like, or she comes to me, she's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm ready to draw." And then she goes to the model, she's like, "Is this okay?" She's like, "You know, seeing all of that." So I was doing these drawings, these figure drawings in college classes when I was like 6 years old. So it's just, you know, I've always been doing that for a very long time.
Thank you so much for this expression. It's really cool when I first came in and see all this. So my question is about like your the future project. So do you have any idea of what you consider as maybe the next projects like after this, maybe it's more like as a continuous project? And also, do you have some expectation about like what the university or the institution can do as a next stage? So I know that you talked about those expectations, and that is also good that the universities collect many of these kind of permits. But I was considering whether you accept there are some even broader change that can be happening in the process.
Well, so to the second question, I mean, I was talking to the iconography committee, which helped kind of support the catalog and also the work, as far as kind of continuing a conversation about the works and about the people within the paintings around the university and placing it. I don't have a thorough idea of what that looks like, but I think it's extremely important that continues, so that they do not sit like something in the background that you kind of pass by every day. So I think there needs to be a continued conversation. There is a kind of a program run by students that I really like. Howard, you know the name of it, I can't remember. It's where they kind of honor the people in the dining, hidden chapels. Yeah, so the students do this programming where they honor somebody who wasn't done in the facilities, and they give them dinner and talk about all their experiences with them, and I think that's really, really great. I talked to a couple of students that run that, and they were talking about doing some photographs and exhibitions in that light, so I think that's a way that kind of can continue the conversation of who's represented. And I kind of got your first question, so I'm going to have to ask you again, what was that?
Like your following project.
Oh, okay, got you. So I have a lot of stuff coming up. I'm going to have a solo show in New Orleans at the end of next year. I'm going to a 3-year group exhibition with Smithsonian that's called Men of Change. So it's traveling around different museums, and I did a sculpture for that. I'll also be curating a show in Detroit. But as far as like this project, I'm a type of artist, when I work on something, I kind of leave it be. I might come back to it, but I feel like I gotta move on to something else. I gotta keep progressing. So I think the next big thing that I want to do will be to kind of highlight Detroit public schools and the public school system and focus on that. So that'll probably be, the next kind of thing.
First of all, I want to say thank you for having me included in the show. It's really an honor. And my question is, why did you decide to include Afro-American in the project? And it was going on in the academic.
It was definitely not only, so when I did the proposal, initially, again, I was thinking about my dad, so that's where it kind of originated from. And then when I met Howard, and there was a question before in my studio about who the women, and I was like, well, I'm thinking about it, but this is what I'm doing, but I'm sure at some point this is gonna happen, but when I met Howard, he introduced me to you and Kanisha, I was like, this is perfect. And I just felt like it was all based on the people that I met. So when I met you and I met Kanisha, I just felt like you guys need to be in the project. It was as simple as that. And also, you know, you being the person that's worked on the campus the longest out of everyone I painted, I knew I wanted to have at least one or two opportunities where I could paint you all outside of the workspace to give a different experience, and you know, that's the piece of you back there, and kind of have a conversation of what you like to do outside of Princeton, like what does that look like? So I feel like that was really important, and that could only have come from me meeting Howard introducing me to you. Yeah, so it was, like I said, it was a very organic kind of process.
First, a very brief comment, and then a question for you. Yesterday on Hulu, I saw Toni Morrison's film for the first time, and it was fantastic. But the perfect companion for it, my parent, that dream is exquisite. I just started, that's fantastic. Read, get that book. Mario, you said this was the first time you did something like this. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your practice? How did you change?
That's a great question. That is a really, really good question. I think what I've learned about myself is that I know how to make family. You know, like really, really connect with people in a way that, you know, I have friends and family, but when it comes to, you know, somebody that you're just walking up to, it's a very different experience. But I was able to, I think, kind of take myself, because I have a lot of pieces that are self-portraits, but that's usually just because I'm the only person able to paint. But I was able to take myself out of being the focus and really consider what needs to happen here. So that became extremely important. It's something that I haven't done in any of my other work. So that experience has been great. I learned a lot about Trenton. I learned a lot about, you know, people's lives, you know, where they grew up, family members, their history, stories. And in a way, I also felt just in, like I said, in trying to form some type of way to kind of create the work. It couldn't be me coming to people and asking them questions. Like, you know, how'd you do this? What's this about? It had to be me giving a part of myself so that I could receive a part of it. Like, it had to be a communal type of process, right? Because I don't think it would work if I just, you know, and there's some artists that do this. They, you know, just go up to people and take pictures and then they go make it work. But I just feel like that, for me, for the way that I work, it's not honest. Like, I wouldn't be able to give you that sensibility of that, who that person is there. So I think that's really what I want.
There's a question here. Thank you so much for this wonderful pieces and for the people that you represented. I want to follow up on your second question, because I look at them and I think also of their predecessors, the people who lived across town during the Jim Crow era and the segregated Witherspoon Jackson area, and they were allowed to be in the store, they were allowed to be served in the restaurants, but they could cross the street to work at the university. And I can't help thinking that the university, and bless you for your spiritual and religious selflessness, but I feel like the university owes this community something. And I can't help thinking that yesterday it was announced that less than a mile up the road, the seminary is giving in response to the Black seminarians, is giving $27 million to address part of that. The university can do it too. I'm not Elizabeth Warren, I don't have a plan.
Thanks for allowing me to be part of your project. Could you expound on your project with Robert Smith?
So, the exhibition, he's asking about this piece I did of Robert Smith. So the exhibition that I'm involved in, which involves a lot of other artists, is a traveling Smithsonian exhibition that will travel for 3 years. Right now it's at a museum in Cincinnati. I think it goes to Washington State next at the museum there. I know we're going to LA, we're going to Detroit. I think it might go to DC. But basically the exhibition is called Men of Change. So what they're doing is they pair artists, each of these men dating from someone like James Baldwin all the way to, let's say, contemporary like Robert Smith or Ta-Nehisi Coates. So the person that I received was Robert Smith. And when the curator asked me to do the work, they initially gave me somebody else. But, you know, to fast forward, I got Robert Smith, and they're like, you know who that is? And at the time I said no. And then I realized for some reason I was following him on Instagram already. Because I was trying to understand investing, so I was, doing my own research. But Robert F. Smith is the 5th wealthiest black man in the world, and the wealthiest black man, or black person. Actually, 5th wealthiest black person in the world, and the wealthiest black person in America. And a lot of people didn't know this until recently when he gave all the money to Morehouse. So but before that, I was doing some research on him, and I found that he was really involved with his family history. So essentially what I did, I don't have anything to show you, but I did this very large silicone sculpture. So it's hyper realistic. It looks and feels like skin, but it's a large sculpture of his head. And then what surrounds it are 2 pieces of acrylic glass with text. And it says on it, you only see what you want to see. So it's frosted acrylic glass. You can only see through those words, and you can only see through the partition in the middle to see the sculpture. And in a way, it is about access that he has, but also access to the viewer of wanting to see something that's so realistic and so, I guess, I would say, with a lot of technique that looks like it's an actual head, but only giving you a certain amount of access. So one thing he talked about as being, the wealthiest, he said he took a trip with other executives. He was somewhere in the world, and a another executive from another firm, the bill came. Robert Smith asked to pay the bill for everyone. And the guy said, I can never let a black man pay for my food. So we're talking about somebody who is the wealthiest black person in the world, the 5th wealthiest black person in the world. And he's still dealing with it. He talks about how many times he gets pulled over. He talks about all these different things. He went to the Obama inauguration because his grandfather used to work, I think, as a janitor in the White House. So during that inauguration, they went and he sat there, his grandfather was telling him in the office that he was in. So family is really, really important to him. But in thinking about the work that I was going to make, I wanted to talk about this idea that because he is a way, he has a certain access, right? He has a certain things that nobody else will be able to experience, but he still experiences things that every black person experiences. So I wanted to show him the way where you only get access to him through these partitions. That no matter what, we always have certain viewpoints. So you only see him from a certain side. You see him as a wealthy person. Do you see him just as a black man? Do you see him just as a man? Like, what are your viewpoints? So that I'm only giving you certain access to those views.
All right, well, our